Welcome to 3 Now with Jason and Kevin. I'm Jason, that's Kevin. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site. All your Bengals coverage can be found on there, from breaking news to opinion, so go check it out. We are sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. And we're coming to you from Orange and Black Insider, which is Cincy Jungle's kind of podcast arm. There's a lot of great stuff. So Orange and Black Insider on YouTube, and then anywhere you stream podcasts. And there's a lot of great shows on there. There's us, there's OBI, there's Chalk Talk. And you can go back and kind of go through everything. There's a ton of great shows. Good stuff. And the season's back. What's going on, Kevin?
Nothing. Deshaun Watson's falling apart in 11 on 11s. Lamar Jackson's grabbing plays off social media. It's preseason football, baby.
Yep. It is preseason football. So I was just telling before we kind of came on and did this, big Reds guy in the summer. Big Reds guy, right? And the Reds, not usually, because the last however many years they haven't been worth watching to me. I'm always been more of a football fan than a baseball fan. But this summer they were fun to watch. You know, they won 12 in a row and they were in first place, and just all these young rookies, you know, Ellie De La Cruz, all these guys coming up, they're fun to watch. So I'm on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, Benson, another home run. Ellie does the cycle, you know what I mean? And football has been back. Training camp started. And now they've played one preseason game. And I haven't thought about the Reds in like 2 weeks. And I was at football practice coaching my son's team tonight, and my phone buzzed, and like it was an alert. And I picked it up and looked at it thinking, you know, maybe it's text or whatever. And it was like a scroll across the top of my phone of the Reds score. I didn't even look what the score was. I didn't even look who they were playing. I just put it back on my phone, and my first thought was like, oh, I should silence that. It's annoying.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, football's back. Football's back. And I know that baseball doesn't go away for everybody. I know that. And that's fine. I'm just saying, for me, with like obsessive compulsive disorder during football season, football's back, which means I'm 100% in football and nothing else. Nothing else. Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
I know that you're not. I know you're not.
I'm
even
not a big baseball
guy.
fan, so yeah. Of course, I'm all in.
Sure.
All I do is desperately try to fill the void that football leaves in me. Yeah. For all of spring and summer. So
I do have a question for you, and I want you to answer honestly. Are you ready?
Okay.
Because you're a family man. You have a wife. You have a wife and a daughter. I have a wife and a son and daughter. Do you feel that you're as good of a father during football season as you are in the off season?
Absolutely not. No.
I know. Neither am I.
Well, because I work during the week, and you know what I mean? And even when you're not working, you got stuff to do, maybe get an hour to yourself during any weekday, right?
Yeah.
So I get 2 days to be like an active father. And during football, I got 1 day to be an active father. I try my best, but I'm just not putting in the time, man.
I get it. So and it's not that I'm a bad father. I'm not a bad father. I should start with saying I'm not a bad father. Don't look at me like that. During football season, though, like when the Bengals are on or whatever, and the kids are like, Daddy, look at the picture I've made of our family holding hands. I'm like shoving it aside. Like, wait, you have to wait until the commercial break. But I do get the kids involved. My daughter Evie likes to make like those fold up papers and cut snowflakes into them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And she made one in like August of 2021 and put a big B on it. And I hung it up on the door that goes out into the garage, and they went to the Super Bowl. Guess where that is? On the door going out in the garage.
It's got to.
It's got to stay there forever.
You can take it down when the Bengals win that Super Bowl.
There you go.
The Super Bowl she put that up there for.
Yep.
It stays.
Yep.
If you sell that house, you have to put it in.
I'll have to frame it
like
there.
Contract that it cannot be moved. You need photographic evidence.
Yep. Can't move. When you take the Super Bowl, I'll come pick it up. When they win the Super Bowl, I'll come pick it up. It's potato skins every week. And my chair, a chair I sit in. So got superstitions. And the funny thing is when they want, go ahead.
I don't have many. If you leave the room during a drive that starts being successful, you're not allowed to come back in the room until the drive is finished. Sorry, you're watching from the hallway. And I will change jerseys at halftime if I feel like the jersey's just giving bad vibes. You know what I mean?
Yep. I have a black Mixon, a black Chase, and a white Burrow. That sounds terrible.
No one, Jason, I'm telling you right now, no one would have even picked up on that.
I know.
If you didn't like it, like, yeah, okay. Those are the colors of jerseys.
That's what I have. Yeah, I have a white Burrow jersey, a black Chase jersey, a black Mixon jersey. Kim has an orange Sam Hubbard and a black something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, black. No, she has orange Burrow and a black Sam Hubbard. All right. So if I go somewhere to watch a game, I bring all 3 jerseys. If I'm watching at home, I have all 3 jerseys. I wear one. If the Magic is in, I take it off, put the other one on. I'll change it. I'll take jerseys off just where I don't wear a jersey,
Sure.
If they're not, really not feeling it. So yeah. The funny thing is about all this is if they win, when they win, I don't stand up on a chair and say, like, look what I did with my jersey and my potato skins and my.
I'm never responsible for their successes.
But if
I'm
they
only
lose,
responsible for their failures.
Man. If they lose,
if they lose, that's on me.
Yeah, exactly. If they lose, I didn't do one of the things, it's my fault completely. It's stupid, but that's how I feel. All right.
Yeah.
I say we take a commercial break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to get into what we want to see on Friday night in Atlanta in preseason game number 2.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back.
Eastgate Smiles Dental Care is a warm and welcoming environment where expertise and customer service come together. As a local business, they love helping their fellow Cincinnatians manage their oral health and achieve a perfect smile. They pair the latest technology with years of experience to give you a smile worth showing off. They are dedicated to quality and convenience and can even perform dental crown procedures the same day in most cases. You like your smile, but they are here to help you love it. They personalize your care and match your needs. Call them today at 513-528-1150 to learn what they can do for your pearly whites.
All right, welcome back. Last Friday, the Bengals hosted at home their opening preseason game, and they lost. None of the starters started. The Green Bay Packers, I believe, I know Jordan Love started. I think a lot of their guys started. Maybe not all of them. The Bengals didn't start anyone outside of Dax Hill. They lost. It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Preseason
it's
game.
Amazing how losing a preseason game when you're a bad or mediocre team feels like the end of the world, and then losing a preseason game when you're like a good team, you're like,
doesn't matter. Whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. There was a lot to like, especially on defense and secondary. Yep. A lot to like. There's a lot to not like, and we'll kind of go over. We're not really gonna. Everyone's harped on the game. We've already done this.
Yeah.
Kevin and I were on live Friday night talking about this. So we're just going to talk about what we want to see this Friday when the Bengals go to Atlanta to face off against Jesse Bates III and Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
In preseason week 2. So I'll start. I want to see, first of all, I don't know if it's true. I think that the defense, at least the starters are going to play.
At least a good portion of them. Yep.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they rotated in a couple pieces because I think they're probably working on communication. I think that's the reason. They want to get that humming. You know how Louis Anarumo is. Sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was most of the starting defense, and then you'll see them rotating in different players, just seeing how they communicate, how they all work together. That'd be my prediction anyway.
I can see that completely. So the start, at least most of the starters will be starting on defense. I don't know if they're going to do it on the offensive side of the ball. I hope they do. I'd like to see. Maybe, you know what?
I want that offensive line out there.
That's what I want. I want the starting offensive line out there. I don't care about Higgins, Chase, and Boyd. I'd like to maybe have them in for a series, but I don't care. They can do what they do, but I do want the offensive line out there starting. That's what I do want to see that. But speaking of the line, we saw backups the entire time. If the offensive line, if the starters come out, I'd like to see them. So the offensive line last Friday against the Packers was bad. There's no need to even talk about it. There were some bright spots here and there, but for the most part, it wasn't very good.
When you go back, you look at it, you can see, this person flashed here, this person flashed there, but pretty much somebody messed up on every single play to the point where it looked like it was Swiss cheese out there, dude. It was awful.
Yep. Especially late in the game. Jackson Carman played next to Jackson Kirkland, and they were very bad together. Side by side, they were bad.
I was sad about Kirkland.
I know
he's undrafted. I know. I mean, he was never going to make the team like this year, but put him on the practice squad, see what he can do. maybe that's still an option. I just thought he was going to look better than that.
No, I get it. I thought so too. But but what I'd like to see is the starting offensive line come out and immediately see a huge difference between them and what we saw last Friday. And there's going to be a difference.
Yeah.
They're better players. They've had another week of practice, but I want to see one of those things where we see the difference between what they have now and what they had last year too. I want to see a top 10 offensive line. I want to see.
Sure.
I don't want to see the quarterbacks get touched when they drop back to pass. I want to see holes open for Joe Mixon, and I don't know if Travion Williams is going to play, but Chase Brown will.
He's not.
Yeah, Travion Williams is not playing. Okay, but Chase Brown, and I want to see Chris Evans. That's what I want to see. I want to see the offensive line. I want to see a top 10 offensive line. That's what I want to see. I want to see them blow guys off the ball and protect the passer. How about you? What do you want to see?
Just to follow up on that, then I'll get to what I'm thinking is I don't expect to see a top 10 offensive line. I do expect to see a top 20 to 15. This is the first time they're all playing in a live setting. It's going to take some time to gel. That doesn't suggest that I don't think they have the capacity to get to top 10. I do. I just don't think we're going to see that this Friday.
Okay.
But I completely agree that no matter what, it's going to be head and shoulders better. And we can't look at this talent. People are flipping out about, do we have a quarterback problem? We might. We might have a quarterback problem. We might have a really big problem with depth at quarterback. We might not have the guy on the team right now. I'm not going to make that judgment till I see this line look better.
Sure.
And what I'm looking for is two things. One, I'm looking for the line to look better because I think Chase Brown flashed. On rewatch, he made all the right reads. He seemed to know exactly what he was talking about. He got 5, 6, 7 extra yards on a play that should have been dead. But his stats look horrible because of that line. I mean, so A, I'm looking at Chase Brown. I'd love to see him behind that line. B, contrary to what you might think, I want to see Jackson Carman at left tackle absolutely dominating because I do not want him on this team anymore. And I want to trade him for a conditional 7th round pick, which is all he's worth. And I want to get him off this team. If you're a Jackson Carman truther, I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with the man. I do not want him on this team.
Okay. Wow. All right. Hey, listen, I mean, I understand your point. I thought what you were going to say is I want to see Jackson Carman at left tackle because that's where he belongs. And I was going to get in this big thing listen, they need a swing tackle, and that's the position he's fighting for. He needs to play both sides.
Yeah.
But then when you went major left turn and then really put the balls to the wall and said, get him out, trade him. You know what? If they traded Jackson Carman today for a conditional 7th round pick, I think 90% of the fan base would celebrate. I do.
I think most would, but there's this. Yeah. If you're one of the listeners, I'm calling you weird because you're weird. I don't get it. He's failed at everything. He had one good game in the weirdest conditions we've ever seen. And suddenly he's good. He's not. He's been the guy who's going to show up this season every season. And now he's fighting to not be on the practice squad for the 3rd year in a row. This is a 2nd round pick. We got to just be done. And the best way to be done is for him to look just incredible for 2 quarters at left tackle against 4th string backups who are going to be gym teachers in the future. And then we trade him away for just whatever we can get. And we never, ever think of him again.
Gosh. Talking about how these guys who are chasing their dreams are going to be gym teachers soon. Man, you're in a foul mood tonight.
They've done better than I could ever do, and I will never take that away from them. But a lot of the people are going to be on the field tomorrow. It's the last time they're ever going to be on the field.
I get it. I do. I get it. Oh, I know. Maybe not the last time.
Because I got
another game. Yeah.
I got one more game. You're right.
But second to last time, possibly. So, all right. So, wow. All right. No, I if they traded him, I'd be happy. If he can't, here's the deal. He looked good in that one game on the left side. He was bad at pass protecting. Very bad at pass protecting on the right side. He's a good run blocker.
Yeah.
I mean,
send him to the Titans. They could have him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's really better suited for guard than tackle. I'm just not sure what the issue is, but I do know that he was so bad against an undrafted free agent rookie. On the same drive, just smoked him once with a fake jab to the outside and then cut back to the inside right across his face. and the next time just like swam right around him. I mean, one pass I think he was hit as he was throwing, and then the second pass was an interception because he was running for his life. I don't know if it was Browning or Simeon. I think it was Simeon. He was running for life and threw up a duck. And meanwhile, Jackson Kirkland and Jackson Carman are just standing in the backfield watching, which also really pissed me off. It just run in a certain direction and do.
Just pretend you're doing something. Just look around, wave your hands all crazy. Just
fall
anything.
down.
You don't actually have to.
Falling down would be better.
Yes, it would. Because at least it's like, well, you failed. You tried, but you failed.
You tripped. But like, just standing there with your hands on your hips, that bothered me. And you know what? Like, I am not qualified to, you know what I mean? Because I'd be taken off the field in a gurney. Had I been in that play. But still, just, you know. But if you're going to play professional sports, you open yourself up for critiquing from idiots like us.
Yeah. Jackson Carman's scared now. We're coming for you, Carman. We're coming for you, buddy.
Yeah, he's not watching this. Anyway, all right. So another thing I want to see is we got to see the secondary last week, the young secondary, and not even the starters. Cheeto obviously wasn't out there. Cam Taylor-Britt wasn't out there. It was on the outsides. It was DJ Turner and Sidney Jones, and in the slot was Jalen Davis, and then they had I don't know if it was, I think Jordan Battle started with Dax Hill. Dax Hill is a starter this year. Yes. I mean, he is. So he was the only guy, but he doesn't have any experience. So they put him in there with it for experience. He looked amazing. Jordan Battle looks amazing. Tyson Anderson, who we all forgot about, looked amazing. DJ Turner.
Tyson Anderson makes this 53. I'm saying it right now.
Oh, I agree with you. DJ Turner looked amazing. Sidney Jones looked okay. He's okay. He's good. Wasn't bad, but wasn't great. You know. But that's I want to see now. I don't know if Cheeto's going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
No, so I don't think he's going to play.
But I think Cam Taylor-Britt.
He still hasn't done 11 on 11s or anything like that. Full participation in practice.
Yeah, but we're going to see Cam Taylor-Britt, which I'm super excited about because I think he's going to be a lockdown guy this year. And on the other side, I don't know if we're going to see Sidney Jones or DJ Turner, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was Turner starting behind Cheeto. And I want to see what the future of the Bengals secondary looks like. Cam Taylor-Britt on the other side of DJ Turner with Mike Hilton in the middle. I want to see Dax Hill and Nick Scott out there. I'm very excited to see the secondary on Friday night.
I'm too.
Because based on what I saw last week, it was great. And now you're putting Cam Taylor-Britt in. Now you're putting Nick Scott in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm excited about.
DJ Turner is getting an interception this game. He was looking for one hard.
Oh yeah.
You can watch it when we watch he's learning. He's learning how to turn, he's learning how to play on the ball. He's not just waiting for it to come and try to do a pass breakup. He wants that ball. He's going to do it. He's going to intercept poor Desmond Ridder. I'm a fan, but not on Friday.
Yeah.
And we're all going to cheer for what our future can be.
Absolutely. He's got such crazy closing speed. I saw him. He wasn't beat, but I'm the illusion that his receiver's open and he just ran under the ball.
I know that play.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. I'm also really excited to see what happens with Tyson Anderson, just based on because it's going to be Scott and it's going to be Dax Hill. Yep. I'm kind of anxious to see who comes in first. Is it going to be Jordan Battle? Is it going to be Tyson Anderson? Are they going to come in together? Put Tyson Anderson in at free safety? He's got the speed for it.
Sure.
Sure. So I'm kind of anxious to see what and then you got Michael Thomas, one of my favorite players on the team. Absolutely. He's a special teams captain. He's a locker room guy.
Yeah.
When they interviewed DJ Turner, they interviewed Tyson Anderson, and they asked him about Tyson Anderson. He got choked up because he was so proud of it. And you can't lose that guy. You can't.
But we might.
I know.
Tyson Anderson might literally be about to take a spot, dude.
Well, if cut down days were now, and you could only keep 4 safeties, that would be my answer. It's Tyson Anderson, Jordan Battle, Nick Scott, Dax Hill. I think they might keep 5. I think they could keep 5.
No.
I don't know. They kept 5 last year. They're going
to keep an extra wide receiver. They're going to keep an extra O lineman before they keep a 5th safety. An extra quarterback.
I just think Michael Thomas is that important. He's that important to this team. He's the only safety with any experience. But he's a special teams ace, and he's just a guy in the locker room that it would be a lesser locker room if he wasn't there. You know that.
I mean, true. I agree, but you don't make this team by being just special teams, not generally speaking. And if he's fifth on that list of safeties, he's just a special teamer.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's the same thing with wide receivers like Lassiter, or wide receivers like there's a couple more in there, Lassiter, or I don't know, a few of them. Yeah, if that's all you do, I get it, but I don't want them gone. So I'm going to hope there's
no. That's the problem with being a good team. There's a handful of people who are not going to make this.
I know. There's a couple people who will not make this team who are going to start somewhere else.
That's what I tweeted that out earlier, especially in the defensive backfield.
Yeah,
we're going to cut a player who is going to end up being a starter on somebody else's team.
Yep,
it's wild, but it's true. But when you're just this deep, like, it's almost a problem being this deep. Like,
there are not going to be a lot of guys once cuts are announced. There's going to be a lot of guys pulled off waivers quickly off the Bengals team. So, but yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see, or I'm excited to see when Nick Scott and Dax Hill are done, if they bring both of them out, if they take Nick Scott out and put in Jordan Battle or Tyson Anderson. It'll be interesting to see.
I would be surprised if we saw almost every version of that, because I think Louis Arumo wants to be able to do every version of that, because that's what he does. You have no idea what he's about to do to you until he's halfway through it.
I also could picture a scenario where the starters are Tyson Anderson and Nick Scott, and Dax Hill is covering someone like Travis Kelce when they play the Chiefs. Or
I think that's going to be Dax Hill's spot most of the time. I think he's going to be the tight end killer.
Mark Andrews when they play the Ravens, stuff like that. I could see that being the case.
Not just I could see that being the case. I think that will be the case. Yeah. I think that's probably the plan.
Yeah.
The only two things I'd be keeping an eye out for are things I'm not even certain are going to happen. I really hope Tanner Hudson. I haven't gotten an update. I can't figure out what's going on with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a bubble player, so you just don't get the same feedback from the media about whether or not he's still in concussion protocol, if that was just a scare at the time and he never really entered it. I mean, I just don't know. But I really wanted to see what he could do. I think he could be our third tight end. I think he could be pretty good at it. He looked smooth. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He looked athletic. I was very impressed by him. I'd love it if he got on the field just even a little bit. Because we're getting close. Like, how bad would it suck if these concussion symptoms lingered? And a guy like him who has such potential, in my opinion, from what I saw in one game, admittedly, but has that potential and never gets to show it during this preseason. Because he may never really get a chance to show it again.
And that's the bad thing about being a bubble player is, like tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but tomorrow when you guys are watching this. Anyway, Friday, I hope we see Irv Smith. I think that would be cool. But it would have been nice to see Tanner Hudson go in there with starters and see what that looks like. You know what I mean? But it's Wednesday night as of recording this. I just looked it up. There is no news.
Yeah, I tried to look it up an hour or two ago just because I knew we were doing the show, and I'm
So I would assume
to see what this kid can do with a few more snaps under his belt, but it's not there. Same with Charlie Jones. I can't get any kind of update on. He's got the torn labrum. Is he playing? Is he not playing? I wasn't impressed by what I saw. Huh? I wasn't impressed by what I saw. I didn't hate it, but I was not impressed. They played him on the outside a lot, which ain't his space. I like to put him in the slot, but I'm wondering if they're trying to protect him a little bit.
They might be. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just torn labrum.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not certain how much that would affect the play we saw last game. But if he is going to try to play through it, which is what I've heard, I would like to see more of what that's going to look like. And maybe it just takes some getting used to. Yeah, but that's my final two big ones that I'm watching for is I'd love to see more of either one of those two players. Uncertain if I'll get the chance to at all.
Yeah. And it would be devastating to Tanner Hudson, because if you can't see him play, there's a bubble player, you can't just give him the benefit of the doubt. He's gone.
No.
You have to find someone that you have hard evidence he can play. So, but I mean, I don't think, obviously Irv Smith and Drew Sample are going to make the team. There's that third tight end spot. I don't think it's necessarily Devin Asiasi's to lose either. I mean, I think he's right out there with Tanner Hudson. But if Tanner Hudson can't get in because he's hurt, then that's it, There's a part of me that wants the Bengals to shut Chase Brown down. Not Chase Brown, I'm sorry. There's a part of me that wants the Bengals to shut down Charlie Jones for the year. The only reason being is because, and it's labrum. It's not a huge deal for a wide receiver like it would be for a running back or for a lineman or tight end. Wide receiver, it's probably hurts, probably sore, and it's not going to get worse unless maybe he gets hit wrong. I don't really know.
That's what I was saying. I don't know how much I want to protect him. I just don't know enough about it.
But, you drafted him, I'm assuming, to be the heir apparent of Tyler Boyd, who will be gone after this year. But they don't need Charlie Jones this year. You know what I'm saying? That's an extra roster spot.
They need Charlie Jones to get better this year.
They do.
He needs snaps. He needs time. He needs.
But
if he's going to be Tyler Boyd's replacement,
right? But remember, IR is not a season killer now. He can come back.
No, that's true.
So I think they should put him on IR. Either if they're going to do surgery, that might shut him down for the whole year. But if they're not,
but if you're not going to do surgery, then why put him on IR?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean? Right. I get what you're saying. He needs to get better, which means getting reps. But if you're going to play him on the outside and that's not what you drafted him for, then don't play him. Put him on the inside. If you have to protect him because he's going to get hurt, then shut him down. Shut him down, give him surgery, and bring him back. But if
he's only going to look bad on the outside. It's not how he's built. It's not how he plays. You're just actually doing him a disservice. You're making him look worse than he has potential to be.
Right. So get him. If you have to protect him, then protect him and shut him down. Get him surgery.
Yep.
We're
back on the same page because I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Andre Iosivas. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
He might be a little bit more in the project, buddy.
Yep. So I did a 53-man roster prediction for Cincy Jungle a couple weeks ago, and I had him out. And I was thinking he'll probably clear waivers.
We had a conversation a couple weeks back, whenever it was, where we were like, we did our way too early 53-man projection. Yep. And at the end, you said, Kevin, how do you feel about it? I said, I feel awful about it. Yoshi didn't make the team, et cetera, et cetera. I had a couple things. I was upset because neither one of us thought he was going to make the team. We thought this is a project that the Bengals can't afford right now.
Right.
He's not. Yeah. At least
he's not
in that game he wasn't.
Yep. I'm not saying he's as good or even close to as good as T. Higgins is right now. He has potential, big time potential. He had 11 targets. One of them didn't count because it was called back, but he high pointed a ball on a fade in the end zone.
Yep.
And it looked extremely T. Higgins-ish. He just get one pinky toe out of bounds. It wouldn't have counted anyway because it was called back. But he had 10 targets. He had 4 catches, 50 yards, led the team. Has some wheels if he gets the ball in space. And he's deceptively fast because he's got that long stride. He looks slow, and then all of a sudden you get to see him get to the edge. Oh, cow. Wow, he's fast. I said, oh, cow. Oh, cow. Oh, crap. That's what I meant. Oh, crap. He's fast. He's an athlete, man. Big time.
Yes.
And he's got strong hands. He was consistently catching the ball away from his body.
He wasn't. He caught it right at his body in one thing, and he dropped it because of that.
Right.
And the very next play, he's reaching out,
catching balls away from his body.
Learning fast.
Yep. He was running pretty good routes. What I would like to see this Friday is I would like to see him rotate in if the starting offensive line is in with that group, just to give whoever the quarterback is Friday night time to let him go deep. Really see how fast he, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see comeback routes and inside routes and outside. I want to see Yoshi on a deep post or a wheel route or just a fly down the field. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I want to see him go up for the ball like that.
I can agree with it for that reason.
Yeah.
But the wide receivers as a whole are the group I'm least interested in seeing how they function.
The starters.
No, just in general with a improved offensive line.
Okay.
For me, you got a great offensive line. You got time to throw. Basically, the better the the better the circumstances are for that wide receiver in the preseason, the less interested I am in how they respond to it.
Okay.
I don't want to see a wide receiver catch a wide open ball in the field, a dime dropped right on him full stride. I kind of want to see how these players handle bad throws, underthrown, overthrown. Like, we only have a handful of games to see what they can do. And I don't want to see what that is under ideal circumstances. I want to see them under bad circumstances. And it's the only example where that's true. Because I feel like it's a detriment to the running backs. It's a detriment to almost every other group, the quarterbacks, etc. But the wide receivers, honestly, I don't want to give them time. I want badly thrown balls. I want them to have to make a play before their route is over. You know what I mean?
Yep, I get it. And then at running back, I don't know if Joe Mixon's going to play. He hasn't practiced the last couple of days because he's been in court.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be in court tomorrow. Which is Thursday, and the game's Friday. So my guess is he may not even travel with the team. Maybe
I don't think
staying back here in Cincinnati, which is fine. That means more Chase Brown, and it means more Chris Evans, both of which are exciting because we get to see Chase. I'd like to see Chase Brown run behind the starting offensive line.
Yep.
I'd like to see the same for Chris Evans. More interestingly, though, for me, is I want to see both of them pass block, especially Chris Evans. And I want to see a lot of Chris Evans. I want to see how he processes runs, chooses where he's going to go, cutbacks and stuff like that. I don't know if he's going to make the team. I don't. I don't either. He had the longest running, a 33-yard run Friday night. He looked pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
know.
He's
just too wild, man.
I know. I just don't know. I mean, they don't trust him.
The O-line does not know where he's going. The O-line never knows where he's going.
Yeah.
And because of that, they cannot block effectively. It draws potential holding calls, et cetera, et cetera. They do not know what he's going to do. So even when he busts out a big run, they're almost upset at him for it. You know what I mean? Like, they need a little predictability with this position. I don't think Chris Evans makes the team. I know they've fielded 4 in the past. I don't think they're fielding 4 this time. There's too much talent.
Maybe that means they keep Michael Thomas.
Maybe it means they keep. I like Michael Thomas. I'm not even like you're like taunting me. Like, I'm like, yeah, screw Michael Thomas. Like, no, I really, really like the guy. He seems like a great dude. I think this might be it for him. I don't know.
It might be. And then the last thing I had was I'm excited to see Drew Chrisman and Brad Robbins both punt. Just compare. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We've only seen Robbins. I think it's his job. It's
100% his job. It's pure respect that they've been calling this a competition from the beginning. It never was, and it's still not. Drew Chrisman can ball out, or he can do really bad. If he does really bad, they're going to blame it on the hospital stay, which is fine. He'll probably get rostered somewhere. Not here.
I hope he does.
We didn't spend that draft pick on Brad Robbins. Oh, I think he's a great dude.
Yeah.
But the moment we spent that draft pick on Brad Robbins, it was Brad Robbins.
Probably. 2017, he was a 5th round pick on Jake Elliott and cut him.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's precedent. There. And now I think he's still the kicker in Philly. I think.
Is he?
No, 100% sure. I think he is.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
I
suspect
teams kickers unless
Tucker. Yeah, I know. I was just about to say Justin Tucker, and then you said unless it's Tucker. So, no, I just want to see him back on the field. I'm excited for him. I predict that he'll be playing elsewhere too, but I hope that if we don't win the Super Bowl, whoever picks him up does, as long as it's not like a select 20 teams that I would choose from. So, yeah. You have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
We're going to get a little closer to knowing what the final 53 is. I think after this, we were talking about trying to do a slightly early 53-man projection. Our last one, it would be fun, actually. Dig it up. I want to know what our last 53-man projection was that we did way too early. And maybe we critique that a little bit now that we know a little better.
We'll do it. I think we should do that and then do another one. And then when it comes out, we'll compare both of them. Yeah. See where the trends went. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, again, thank you for tuning in and listening, whether you're on YouTube, on Orange and Black Insider, or whether you're streaming this from a podcast. Again, we're brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site, and sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. Check out all the other great shows on OBI, Orange and Black Insider, including OBI and Chalk Talk. Thank you very much for listening. Who day?
I'm sorry I called the Carman fans weird. That's it.
All right. Who day?
Who day?